Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pacers Daily. I'm your host, Hery Acosta. Pacers have made a trade, second round pick and a second round pick swap for Jay Huff from the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, he is a career 5.4 point per game player, 1.7 rebounds a game, coming off a season where he averaged 7 and 2. But he also played more minutes. He also got more playing time with the Grizzlies through injury and just overall being kind of getting better, being a better backup. But he's 7'1", 240 pounds. Good guy to have on your team. He's a good 3-point shooter. Now, is he a starting caliber center? Not necessarily. He could fit very well as a backup, but his stats are a little iffy. His per 36 stats, at least his blocking stats are pretty good. He did average a block a game in 11 minutes, which isn't, popping out of the page, but something that could also get better the more minutes he plays, and just playing on a team like Indy where everybody just needs to be ready at all times, and a team that always has had good depth over the last few seasons, and where the bench has pretty much carried them in some games where the starters are not doing too hot. Bench players come in, drop 15 to 20 points. Jay Huff, good player. Someone that can definitely fit into the rotation, especially with Turner leaving and Isaiah Jackson potentially not being fully back by the start of the season, as well as Thomas Bryant still being unsigned, and Tony Bradley could still fit into that second or third string center role. But it's just good that the Pacers have made their move. They've been pretty silent all of free agency. Besides some trades at the draft where they got Cam Jones. But overall, the Warriors have also not made any trades or any moves. The Pacers were sitting with the Warriors and not kind of like haven't signed anyone, haven't really traded for anyone, but finally made that first move. First move for a player of decent caliber, a guy who's been on 4 teams. Didn't really do too much in Washington or in LA, or even in Denver, but got his opportunity in Memphis, showed that he can be a very reliable backup, and just someone that, a team like the Pacers who, now they're not exactly trying to blow it up, but they do want to see what they can get out of certain players. Just because of an injury to their star player, one of their franchise pieces left after 10 seasons, and so they just kind of need to throw some people in the fire and just be like, hey, go put up some shots, grab your rebounds, pass the ball, do what you can, show us what you have. You get 15, 20 minutes a game to prove who you really want to be in the league. So I could see that happening for Huff. And this being a first move isn't the worst thing. And, I talked about it earlier. Huff could be a very reliable backup. He was the backup to Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr. throughout the 2024-2025 season. Now, we saw him lose out a little bit in minutes when Marvin Bagley was traded to the Grizzlies, and probably wasn't the best thing for Jay Huff, but now he goes to Indy where he will get minutes, he will play. He has been pretty healthy. No, nothing too crazy injury-wise. So that's pretty good for him. And now he comes to a team that's coming off a finals appearance where, I keep saying that one thing could have completely changed the outcome of the finals. But, it's good that the Pacers made this move. They really needed to do something, and honestly only really giving up a second-round pick and then a trade swap, that's really not too bad. We've seen the Pacers make some good trades over the last few seasons. The Obi Toppin trade was great. Didn't really give up too much for Obi. They didn't really give up a crazy haul for Aaron Nesmith either. In fact, Nesmith was one of the throw-in pieces for the Celtics to get Brogdon. Halliburton wasn't even the full headliner of his trade. That was Sabonis, but we ended up getting a win-win piece in that trade. Buddy Hield also put up some good numbers when he was in Indy. But so the Pacers have had some pretty good trades. The Siakam trade was an absolute steal. All they really gave up was Bruce Brown, a first-round pick that ended up not even being that good of a first-round pick. And so the Pacers have built a very good franchise through trades and drafts. Never have really been known for splashing in free agency. Now, last year, their biggest signing was probably James Wiseman, and he played one game with the team. He's a player that Pacers could also look to bring back, as he should be healthy by the time the season starts. Get him on a quick minimum deal, see what he can do. He looked like he was about to have a good season. He was about to have a breakout season. He only played 5 minutes and was already doing pretty good, but those Achilles injuries, they're very hard to prevent. But I'm kind of wanting to see what the Pacers will do. So just kind of seeing if they want to do more trades or if they kind of want to roll with the squad that they have, just to kind of see what they actually do have on the roster. Now, they know how players like Nesmith, Siakam, they know what they're capable of. But now you're going to a new leaf where Nembhard is probably going to transition into the one, play his true position at point guard. Mathurin is most likely going to start. So you're going to have Mathurin potentially shooting 15 to 20 shots a game, which Mathurin is a starting caliber player. We know this. But now you're going to have either Isaiah Jackson or Thomas Bryant or Tony Bradley. Whoever the Pacers want to start at center, they're going to have to figure something out, because they're going to need something, just at least to start the season before they can really look elsewhere before the trade deadline if they really wanted to. As of right now, nothing too crazy, Bringing in a player like Jay Huff, pretty good. He is a tall guy. With some work, he can hopefully be a better rebounder, because he's also not the best rebounder, but at the same time hasn't really gotten the minutes, which is why I still believe that out of everyone on the roster, Isaiah Jackson would be the best fit to start at center, just because he checks all the boxes besides not the best floor spacer, obviously, because he's not really a three-point shooter, but he does play the traditional center position very well. A guy that gets in the paint, he can score, he can rebound, he can block. Just a guy you need down there. Huff, he can space the floor a little bit. Decent three-point shooter. Not the best rebounder. Okay shot blocker. Decent scorer. Not the worst scorer. So, very good. Very good for the Pacers on this one. Didn't have to give up much, So, I'll give them probably like a B. I mean, there's better players you could trade for, but not having to give up that much is always useful when it comes to grabbing someone you want in your rotation. And the Grizzlies have already made some splashes in free agency, re-signing Jaren Jackson. They got Ty Jerome. They just recently signed Jock Londale, so they have that backup center spot no matter what. But, nothing too crazy, just the first really big free agency news that the Pacers have had this year. But, as always, I'm Hery Acosta. This is Pacers Daily. Boom, baby, and go, Sirs.